my job is a very difficult one. How do you introduce a person that everyone already knows? But nonetheless, I want to put the President's introduction into context because I found myself the last few weeks studying his syllabi from his classes and looking at grading mechanisms that he had in place and looking at a number of things that he's written, and it's a fantastic story. So it is my honor and my privilege to introduce to you, and I'm going to walk through this, our President. Let me begin with the following. Okay. Hold on. Let me walk through why the President's visit here is so important for this institution, for this state, and for our country. Barack Obama is a man of intellect devoted to the common good, which is a rare thing. A rare thing. Barack Obama is a man whose journey from boyhood teaches us all about the power of a single life with purpose, and each of our graduates should remember this. Barack Obama is a man whose understanding of the dream of and for America knows no limit. That dream, often about a limitless America, however, comes from a different point of view often. It comes from those that have benefited from economic success of their parents or the social status of their family, and sometimes those that view the limitless dream of the United States have a fanciful view of our history, a view that's often inaccurate. Sometimes, and this is rare, this understanding of America's true greatness and our potential comes from a deep understanding of the need to drive change. And that fact is in fact America as the statement of change itself. The fact that America represents what the change has been that we have moved from around the world, that's the central theme I want to focus on. Martin Luther King once said that change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. Barack Obama understands from the experiences of his family, both in America and Africa, his work in organizing communities in Chicago, his deep understanding of the U.S. Constitution, and his raw and powerful intellect. That continuous struggle is to move us even closer to the ideal America. In this ideal America, the yokes that hold us back must be taken off to create opportunity for success. One of those yokes that has been the struggle, has been the struggle to educate every child, to allow everyone equal chance. Here, our history as a country has been long and difficult. And while progress has been made since the 1950s, we remain far from the ideal. 25% of our children, more than 1 million children per year, don't graduate from high school. And for those that do, that come from the lowest socioeconomic grouping, only 15% of them will have an opportunity to graduate from a university. Mr. President, no national leader before you has fully understood the role of education, learning, and knowledge in fulfilling the American ideal, in advancing the continuous struggle for change. In studying your life and your achievements as a community organizer, constitutional law professor, and a statesman, I can see your fantastic awareness of the enigma of our present America. How is it that we have changed so much and yet have so much further to go? You realize that our Constitution, and thus our civil rights, our voting rights, and our right to be educated is not a static thing, but in fact is a constantly evolutionary ideal. It is this evolutionary process that you see change as essential to our life, to our future as Americans. You see an America where all children graduate from high school and most go on to college at some level. In this change process, you see an America where every talent can be tapped and every dream has real potential. Mr. President, you have already taken many bold steps to improve our nation and to move us forward. You have changed, I believe, already how we conceive education. Education is now a national civic duty. It is not a privilege, it is a civic duty. You have given hope to all who dream about what they can be, and as I'm increasingly beginning to see as a common activity, you've lit a fire under all of us to move America forward using our ideas and our creativity. Mr. President, we feel that fire. We share your drive for change. We've heard your speech before Congress, saw you driving us closer to the ideal, the better America, your expansion of Pell Grants, your goals to educate all of America, your drive to have a great college education, not just a college education, but a great college education to all who work hard. We hear you, we join you. In fact, we join you by today committing to you and to the people of Arizona that we will continue building ASU as an egalitarian center for advanced teaching and learning. And we commit to you also that no Arizona student will be left out of this institution and what we have to offer because of his or her family's income. Mr. President, we're pleased to announce the establishment of the Barack Obama Scholars Program and pledge to you to work and fight to make accessible education the change that takes America to the next level. It's an honor to have you here with us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you, ASU. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, please. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, President Crow, for that extremely generous introduction, for your inspired leadership as well here at ASU. I want to thank the entire ASU community for the honor of attaching my name to a scholarship program that will help open the doors of higher education to students from every background. What a wonderful gift. Thank you. That notion of opening doors of opportunity to everybody, that is the core mission of this school. It's the core mission of my presidency. And I hope this program will serve as a model for universities across this country. So thank you so much. I want to obviously congratulate the class of 2009 for your unbelievable achievement. I want to thank the parents, the uncles, the grandpas, the grandmas, cousins, Calabash cousins, everybody who was involved in helping these extraordinary young people arrive at this moment. I also want to apologize to the entire state of Arizona for stealing away your wonderful former governor, Janet Napolitano. But you've got a fine fine governor here, and I also know that Janet is now applying her extraordinary talents to serve our entire country as the Secretary of Homeland Security, keeping America safe, and she's doing a great job. Now, before I begin, I'd just like to clear the air about that little controversy everybody was talking about a few weeks back. I have to tell you, I really thought this was much ado about nothing. But I do think we all learned an important lesson. I learned never again to pick another team over the Sun Devils in my NCAA brackets. It won't happen again. President Crow and the Board of Regents will soon learn about being audited by the IRS. Now, in all seriousness, I come here not to dispute the suggestion that I haven't yet achieved enough in my life. First of all, Michelle concurs with that assessment. She has a long list of things that I have not yet done, waiting for me when I get home. But more than that, I come to embrace the notion that I haven't done enough in my life. I heartily concur. I come to affirm that one's title, even a title like President of the United States, says very little about how well one's life has been led. That no matter how much you've done or how successful you've been, there's always more to do, always more to learn, and always more to achieve. And I want to say to you today, graduates, class of 2009, that despite having achieved a remarkable milestone in your life, despite the fact that you and your families are so rightfully proud, you too cannot rest on your laurels. Not even some of those remarkable young people who were introduced earlier. Not even that young lady who's got 4 degrees yet today. You can't rest. Your own body of work is also yet to come. Now, some graduating classes have marched into this stadium in easy times, times of peace and stability, when we call on our graduates simply to keep things going and don't screw it up. Other classes have received their diplomas in times of trial and upheaval, when the very foundations of our lives, the old order, has been shaken. The old ideas and institutions have crumbled, and a new generation is called upon to remake the world. It should be clear to you by now the category into which all of you fall. For we gather here tonight in times of extraordinary difficulty for the nation and for the world. The economy remains in the midst of a historic recession, the worst we've seen since the Great Depression. The result in part of greed and irresponsibility that rippled out from Wall Street and Washington as we spent beyond our means and failed to make hard choices. We're engaged in 2 wars and a struggle against terrorism. The threats of climate change, nuclear proliferation, and pandemic defy national boundaries and easy solutions. For many of you, these these challenges are also felt in more personal terms. Perhaps you're still looking for a job. You're struggling to figure out what career path makes sense in this disrupted economy. Maybe you've got student loans. No, you definitely have student loans. Or credit card debts. And you're wondering how you'll ever pay them off. Maybe you've got a family to raise. And you're wondering how you'll ensure that your children have the same opportunities you've had to get an education and pursue their dreams. Now, in the face of these challenges, it may be tempting to fall back on the formulas for success that have been peddled so frequently in recent years. It goes something like this. You're taught to chase after all the usual brass rings. You try to be on this who's list or that top 100 list. You chase after the big money. You figure out how big your corner office is. You worry about whether you have a fancy enough title or a fancy enough car. That's the message that